Here's a bit of the Fifth Estate documentary, Magic Pills.
But consider this. The vitamin C in that one tablet is equal to not 1, not 2, but between 7 and 8 entire cantaloupes.
No, you're not meant to eat 8 cantaloupes. It's a dangerous thing to do, to go against what nature intends.
Registered dietitian Jaclyn Pritchard worked with the Fifth Estate team, and she is right here in our Toronto studio. I've never eaten 7 or 8 cantaloupes in one day. That certainly surprised me. In one vitamin C pill. Did it surprise you?
It did, actually. I always knew that these numbers were big, but it's when you come up close and personal and actually do the calculations, I found some of them quite astounding.
And what else really sort of made your jaw drop?
The vitamin E one as well, which was related to the almonds. So taking in over 500 almonds, which is equivalent to 1 vitamin E capsule that people typically take.
Wow, and I have like 6 almonds a day because that's what my doctor had told me, you know. That's what works.
Right, right. And so a varied diet is going to help to get you those DRIs, or those recommended daily intakes that we require every single day. But certainly a supplement could tip us over quite a bit.
I'm wondering though, I've heard that it doesn't really matter how much you take because it's going to come out in your urine.
Yeah.
So whatever your body needs, it's going to take from that pill and the rest is going to be flushed out.
Yeah. So
not the case?
Not necessarily the case. No, there's a couple types of vitamins. So there's water-soluble and fat-soluble vitamins. Our water-soluble ones, we're pretty safe to say most of them will come out. You know, I always tell my clients, take a look at your urine after you go to the washroom. If you've got pretty bright colored urine, that could mean you're losing a lot of those vitamins. But it also means you're not using them as well.
Right.
Then there's the fat-soluble vitamins, though. They can store in our body. So they can store in our liver, they go through our filtration process, which is our kidneys, and they can store in our fat cells for very long periods of time. Those are the ones we're worried about with toxicities.
But what's the problem with storing a vitamin in your liver?
Well, if we think about our filtration and storage system, so our liver really handles a lot of storage. And so if we've got heavy amounts of vitamins in our liver, there could be possible toxicity effects in our liver. Liver disease and certainly long-term effects could be quite fatal as well. Same within our fat cells. Our vitamin D stores in our fat cells. There could be long-term effects potentially to having too much of those vitamins held in those storage systems.
You know, but then you always hear wintertime, Canada, you don't get enough sun, take vitamin D, right?
Yeah.
It's just, how do you know? Or I suppose there's a certain trust when we look at a bottle that says take 1 of these a day, and you kind of think, okay, well, that's going to give me what I need, right?
First, start by looking at what is your recommended daily intake, and that's, I think, something we tend to avoid looking at. We just go with, what's being told in the media. What does the newspaper say? Exactly. So first, start by, what is the DRI? Well, if you only need 600 international units, make sure you're only taking somewhere close to that. Right now, it's not recommended to overdo more than 4,000 international units. So, keep it within that amount. If you're really, indoor all winter and not going to be getting any sun, then definitely maybe taking a small supplement. But megadosing is not recommended, even if the studies right now are saying there may not be any toxic effects.
B12, that's one a lot of my friends are on.
Yeah, everyone, weight loss, they take it for skin, people take it for digestion, stress. Oh yeah, very exciting stuff. But when it comes down to it, again, too much of it in any sort of amount can bog down our system. And so if we look at things like nerve disease is related to B12 supplementation, as well as just B vitamins in general. And certainly when we look at the liver, again, I come back to the fact that if we're processing this stuff, it's hanging out in our body. We don't know the long-term effects of it staying in there for too long.
One of the interesting things you did with the Fifth Estate, and it's a fascinating look at this industry, but you created an online tool for consumers. It's called what? The Pill Converter. I want to know how that works.
Yeah, it's a fascinating, actually, piece that we did, and it's going to be a quite eye-opening thing for consumers. If we look at different foods, we've actually converted what that would be in food to what someone takes in a supplement form.
There are those cantaloupes.
Exactly. There we go. Cantaloupes, peppers, oranges. We converted glasses of milk. We looked at almonds, and so people can see in one of those little tiny pills that seems pretty natural and harmless, you can actually be getting a real mega dose of nutrition. And certainly it's better, we know, to get it from food sources than vitamin sources.
Very quickly, is there anything we really should keep on our shelves when it comes to those, pill supplements?
It's one of those things, vitamins have a place in someone's diet.
Yeah.
If there's a deficiency for allergy reasons, if you're a vegan, various reasons, certainly there could be. Speak to a dietitian, speak to your doctor first, and educate yourself on what is an appropriate dose for you, because megadosing is not going to be the way of maintaining a healthy self.
Pleasure having you on board. You've answered a lot of my questions. I certainly hope you've done the same for our viewers. I appreciate it.
I hope so. Thank you.
Registered dietitian Jaclyn Pritchard right here in our Toronto studio.